Are the Vancouver Canucks on the verge of a blockbuster trade that could reshape their defensive core? Rumors are swirling around a young, talented defenseman currently playing for the Buffalo Sabres, and fans are buzzing with excitement and speculation. What might this mean for the team's future? Stay tuned as we dive into the details of this potential deal and what it could mean for the Canucks' playoff aspirations. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video to stay updated on all things Vancouver Canucks, as recent reports from insiders like Rick Dallowall and Elliot Friedman have sparked quite a buzz around the Vancouver Canucks' interest in Buffalo Sabres defenseman Bowen Byram. It's got me thinking, what would it take to land a player like Byram? By examining recent trades involving young defensemen with similar profiles, we can start to piece together a reasonable trade proposal. Byram stands at 6'1" and weighs 205 pounds. He's played 196 games, racking up 90 points, and he's already got a Stanley Cup ring under his belt. He's only 23 years old, a left-handed shot, and is an RFA at the end of this season. This is a player with a high ceiling, but, as we know, there are risks involved, particularly his history of concussions. Now let's compare him to some recent trades. Think about Nick Leddy going to the New York Islanders for a package that included a couple of prospects and a goalie. Then there's Seth Jones, who was traded for a top center, something the Predators were desperately seeking at the time. And we can't forget about Jacob Chychrun, whose return included multiple high draft picks. Each of these trades had a few things in common: a mix of promising young players and draft picks, but none of them gave up their top prospects. So, what about the Canucks? They've got some intriguing assets. I could see a trade proposal like this: Bowen Byram and a 4th-round pick in 2025 for Niels Höglander, a 1st-round pick in 2025, and a 2nd-round pick in 2026. Now here's where things get interesting. Höglander, while he's shown flashes of talent, has struggled lately and is buried in the lineup. He's a smaller winger, and despite his potential, he may not hold the same value as a center or a more established defenseman. The draft picks add another layer to this proposal. Vancouver has a plethora of picks in the upcoming drafts, and we know that teams are always looking to stockpile future assets. But here's the catch. Do the Sabres really want another small winger and a bunch of draft picks when they're in the middle of a season that's gone off the rails? They've been on a 12-game winless streak. If they're going to move Byram, they might want something that can make an immediate impact rather than more question marks. What I find fascinating is that Byram was traded 1-for-1 for Casey Mittelstadt not long ago, showing that the Sabres are willing to deal young talent for immediate help. But could a desperate GM, like Kevin Adams, look to make a move that defies logic in hopes of saving his job? The pressure is on him, and we know how unpredictable things can get in these situations. Now, let's talk about the risks associated with acquiring Byram. His concussion history is a major red flag. The Canucks would need to be convinced that he can handle the rigors of a full season. There's also the question of his next contract. With comparable players like Filip Hronek and Moritz Seider signing deals in the $5 to $8 million range, Vancouver has to figure out how to fit him into their salary cap. They've got some room now, but that could change quickly. The Canucks currently have about $87 million in projected cap space for next season. But if they're going to make a move for Byram, they'll need to clear some contracts. This raises the stakes even further. Would they be willing to part with a promising young player and a couple of draft picks? Or would they hold on to their assets in hopes of better opportunities down the line? So, where do I stand on this? I'm honestly torn. On one hand, Byram has the potential to be a top-tier defenseman for years to come. On the other, his health concerns and the cost of acquisition make me second-guess whether this is the right path for the Canucks. What do you think? Is trading for Byram worth the risk, or should they look elsewhere to strengthen their blue line? The Vancouver Canucks have been at the center of speculation lately, particularly regarding the dynamics between two of their key players, Elias Pettersson and JT Miller. After a brief 2-game road trip, the team is back home, and tensions seem to be bubbling beneath the surface. Head coach Rick Tauche addressed this situation in a recent media session, emphasizing the importance of team unity over individual egos. He said, "It's all about the crest. While I'm the coach, it's not about what's on the back." This statement really encapsulates the challenge the Canucks face right now. Both Miller and Pettersson have struggled to find their scoring touch since Miller's return from injury. Miller started strong with 3 assists in his first 2 games back, but has since gone quiet, not scoring in his last 3, while Pettersson has yet to register a point in 5 games. It's concerning because these are two of our most talented players, and their struggles could significantly impact the team's success. Tolke pointed out that when players are struggling, they often forget the fundamentals. They want to score so much that they forget to move their feet and contribute in other ways, he noted. It's a valid point. Sometimes you need to focus on the little things to get back into the groove. Interestingly, Tolke made the strategic decision to separate Miller and Pettersson on the power play unit, a move that raised eyebrows among fans. He explained it was a matter of not overloading Miller too soon after his return. But here's where it gets intriguing. The power play actually improved during that time, which makes you wonder if separating them was the right call or just a temporary fix. It's a delicate balance. These players need to find their rhythm, but at what cost to team chemistry? Quinn Hughes, the team's captain, shared his perspective as well. He acknowledged the tension, saying, "There are times I get frustrated with Millsy or Petey, but that doesn't mean I don't love those guys. This is the reality of sports. Emotions run high, especially when expectations are great." Hughes emphasized the importance of keeping everyone focused on the team's goals, both short-term and long-term. "We need to have a good game tonight, and ultimately, we want to be a successful team and make the playoffs," he stated. "That's the goal, right? We're all hoping to see the Canucks back in playoff contention, and it's going to take everyone pulling in the same direction to make that happen." Hughes also expressed his belief that both Miller and Pettersson can turn things around. "I believe in both of them. They're great players and great people," he asserted. It's reassuring to hear that from our captain. There's a sense of hope here. Despite the struggles, the Canucks are still in a decent position in the standings. If these two can find their game, it could be a game changer for the team. But I have to ask, was it the right move to separate Miller and Pettersson? Personally, I'm torn. On one hand, I see the logic in giving Miller some time to get back into form without the added pressure of playing alongside Pettersson. On the other hand, these are two elite players who should be able to feed off each other's strengths. What do you think? Should they have been kept together to work through their struggles? Or was Tolke's decision justified? I want to hear your thoughts on this. Are you optimistic that they'll get back on track? Or do you have concerns about how this might affect the team moving forward? Let's get the conversation going in the comments below. If you found this analysis helpful, be sure to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates on our beloved Canucks. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell to stay in the loop with all the latest news.